You're listening to the Comic Crusaders Podcast. I am your host, Al Mega, CEO of Comic Crusaders and Undercover Capes. In this show, I'm sitting down with creators from all walks of life to talk about inspiration, process, the lessons they've learned, and a whole lot more. Wepa! What up, everybody? Welcome to a brand new Comic Crusaders Podcast. I'm your boy, Al Mega. Yo, we're about to hang out with an amazing creator. I mean, I don't know if y'all saw that joint when Robert Rodriguez, he was called the one-man band. This woman is the one-woman band. She is like tearing it up since 2009 in the independent comic book market. She is a writer. She's an artist. She's a letterer and publisher. You know what? She's also a web developer and marketer. Kristen Kiomall-Evans. Wepa, welcome to the show. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, I'm glad to have you. Oh my God, you are like the ultimate creator, the one woman show, the one man band, if you will. That's dope. So a salute to that before we even start. I mean, that's amazing. For real. That I don't meet many people that do all as what you do. That takes a lot of skill, patience, and talent. So bless.
Mostly being stubborn. That's it. Can't stop.
Are you a Taurus? Because I'm supposedly Taurus is a hard-headed. So hey, welcome.
Oh no, I'm a Virgo. So I'm all about calculation. So planning, that kind of thing. Somehow it worked out.
Hey, also somehow, yeah, it's big kicking ass apparently. So talk about this, Kristen. First off, origin story. I always love to dig that because you're a superhero. So where you from? Where you were born? Where you raised at?
So I'm actually from like a really small town called Trenton, Ontario. Very military, and so Canadian.
Hey.
Shout out to my fellow Canucks. And I was there for most of my time. I went to grade school and high school there. Luckily for a base brat, I didn't have to move around a lot, but
so you were in the military family. Gotcha.
Yeah, military family, and I actually married back into the military. So
damn,
kind of stuck there for good.
You're a glutton for punishment, apparently.
Yeah. Well, to top it off, I actually work as a military civilian. So
check it. But you know what? Then thank you for your service on behalf of your country.
Don't thank me. I'm just the civvy that.
It's a civvy though.
It's a
responsibility. Yeah, but it's a responsibility nonetheless. You're helping the folks over there, which is great. Thank you for that.
No worries.
So you growing up and getting into pop culture, I want to know this origin story. Was it introduced to you? Did you find it on your own? What was that first love that made you say, "Damn, I really like this"?
Well, Sailor Moon, of course.
I used to watch Sailor Moon. That first anime. 2 seasons.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I came over to Canada and I barely got to see any episodes, but it was always very curious because for some reason people treated this show differently, and I was probably like 5 or 6 at the time. But I was like, oh, it's a show about high school girls. That's cool. I've never seen a cartoon about high school girls before. This is awesome. But I saw maybe like 5 episodes, and then it was got slotted at different time slots, and then I was just like, oh well, that was fun while it lasted. I don't know what the hell that was.
5, yeah, they robbed you. How dare you, Canada, take this away from this young lady?
So it wasn't until I was older, and then the manga boom happened in the 2000s. So it was also right when I hit high school, and of course they just brought over all of these teenage marketed content. Gotcha. So I was always a big cartoon fan to the point where I wanted to be an animator for school and that kind of stuff.
You scared me. I thought you said I wanted to be a cartoon.
Well, I'm pretty hilarious. At least I think so. But I'm certainly a joke sometimes. So I wanted to be an animator when I grew up, and I saw Inuyasha on at like 10 o'clock at night
early on that this was going to be your passion.
And synapses in my brain were like wired together, and it's like, you have to do this.
You saw that, boom, this is your journey. The roadmap was being built.
Yeah, well, because like for me, it's like it wasn't like adult sitcom cartoons, and at the same time, it wasn't like very childish cartoons.
Yeah,
and like I had grown up with a lot of even the girl content that they gave me was all about girls in high school that were nothing like me. So I was just like, okay,
it was kind of dumbed down stuff or other stuff. Yeah, I get you.
Yeah, they were mostly dealing with like relationship things and high school problems, and I was like, I'm a good student and I get good grades and I read a lot, and that's like the extent of what I do. Except sometimes I break into abandoned houses and we find like prosthetic limbs that haven't been used in several years. So I mean,
and you pick those things up. You're killing me. Like, hey, I just found a leg. Check this out. Hey.
I can't. Man. Yeah, no, it was a leg actually.
Oh shit! I love it.
But yeah, so like I couldn't relate to any of those people, and then like suddenly there was this girl that fell down a well and went into like feudal Japan and got to hang out with a demon boy with dog ears, and it was like, wow, this targeted me. Like and I was like in love with that kind of thing ever since. So as soon as that happened, you know, I just started making money. I bought A King's Ransom and manga. Just so I think I had every volume of Inuyasha. I had a ton of Naruto.
Why are you telling me had? Don't tell me you got rid of these things.
I'm sorry. Gosh. I'm military now. I move around a lot. And unfortunately, the sad part is books are very heavy. So I gave them to very good homes. Don't worry. I made sure they were well taken care of. But yeah, and then I kept my favorites. But one of them was called Magic Knight Rayearth. And it's also a magical girl series, because Sailor Moon was like out of print. But Magic Knight Rayearth was way more up my alley than Sailor Moon ever was. So it was suddenly these girls, and they had swords, and they were like fighting RPG in Fantasyland, and their armor upgraded all the time, and they were super chill. And I was like, okay, so love this forever. Going to do this all the time. And yeah, I went to college for animation. I ended up graduating with honors 2010. Thank you. And then I ventured off to work for the college in e-learning. So basically we were developing like smart video games. So I would build stuff for nursing, which actually got me my job now in the military. So now I work military education side. Yeah, so it's pretty cool, and because
you're an inspirational person, Jesus, look at all the things you do. How do you find time to even create?
I'm actually not sure. I'm very exhausted all the time. But so 2013 started writing a project, and it was a project that I had started in high school, but it wasn't until 2013 that I was like, look, I'm getting this done. I'm tired of being stuck in first chapter. I don't know how to write things next. We're writing a beginning, a middle, and an end, and then we're filling it all in.
Getting her done.
Yeah. And, suddenly I had this 1,000-page draft, and I was like, I can do this. I can turn it into a comic. No problem. Planning and doing things are two different things.
Yes, they are.
And yeah, so 8-9 years later, the webcomic is finishing, and the books are here.
Oh my God, those are the books on hand, and folks. Look how sexy those things. Oh, damn it.
They're massive.
Yes, they are, yo. I love it just because of that. Oh.
Yeah. And that's after editing. So.
Oh my! Are we gonna get a director's cut?
No.
Jesus, no.
Right? But yeah, so took a long time, a lot of tears and blood and sweat, and I did it all. Did all the writing, did all the artwork. Luckily, my skills in animation helped roll over into comics. I mean, obviously, it's not a one-for-one thing, but just the idea of that visual storytelling, because I read a lot of books on writing, but nothing clicked. And writing prose didn't do anything for me. I'm a very visually oriented person. So, I just decided that, if I try to animate this, I will be 90 years old by the time the 5th episode is done. So comics was my compromise. And It's a long story, big cast.
Apparently, you have a Bible's worth of story in those graphic novels, and I love it. But let me ask you something before we get into that a little bit further. Was the material easily accessible to you as a military brat growing up? Did you have shops, or how did you even come by, and getting that type of access to material?
I mean, I found it relatively easy. I mean, I've been working since I was like 10 years old. I did paper route.
Hey, man.
Yeah.
How many jobs you got?
I did a paper route when I started when I was 10, and then I worked at a video store when I was like 14.
I did the same. I started at 13 and I did a video store. That was my first job.
And then I even got a job at a very popular Canadian store, which is called Sam the Record Man, which is like HMV or something like that.
Okay.
But I was the only person who was into anime, and they needed someone to separate the regular anime from the porn anime because they didn't know which one was which.
Right? This all looks cute. I don't know. I know what you mean. Is this title porn?
We need to know if this is porn because I have to take it off the shelf.
Is this hentai? Please tell me. Oh my God, I'm scared.
So I'd be like looking on my phone. Yeah, no, that one's porn. This one you can't have on the shelf.
Let me tell you,
this one back.
You bringing that up, that reminds me when I was a kid in the 90s, and somebody said, "Oh, you got to watch this movie called Legend of the Overfiend." I said, "All right, cool. We'll check it out." Oh my God, we were like, what is this? Holy sweat, these people are sick.
So an awakening of sorts.
Oh, it really was. I'm like, yo, they make anime like this, son? What the hell? Yeah. After 3,000 years. I'm like, yo, folks, just watch the movie. What is it? Orusu Kudoji, Legend of the Overfiend. Oh my God. Oh, that blew my mind. I was like, as a kid, I was like, oh. And then I washed my brain by watching Fist of the North Star. I was like, okay.
Oh,
this is what I like.
The North Star is pretty intense.
That Ninja Scroll, all them joints.
Yeah, no, I think.
What's your favorite anime film?
Film? It's probably Tokyo Godfathers by Satoshi Kon. It's an amazing animated film. First of all, Satoshi Kon is like, as far as I'm concerned, the king of animation. Unfortunately, he only made 5-6 films before he passed away, but Tokyo Godfathers specifically is a drama about homeless people, specifically a trans woman, an alcoholic, and a teenage runaway, and they find this baby and they try to bring the baby back to its parents, and so it's just them going through the motions of trying to connect who this baby's parents are, why they didn't take care of it, how they could throw it in the trash, because as homeless people, they're like, we're at least old enough to make the decision to be homeless. Who did this to a child? And it's like, it's this, it takes place during near Christmas, but it is so dark. And yet at the same time, it is like one of the most pessimistically optimistic films I've ever seen.
You are selling the shit out of this to me right now. I'm going to have to pick this up. Tokyo Godfathers. Yeah. Never heard of it. Thank you. No,
it's great. Knowledge. And actually, anything Satoshi Kon does is fantastic.
I'm gonna email you as soon as I watch it, so we could have a little discussion and hopefully even bring you back. Like, okay, we're gonna talk all this. If I download all this and you get me addicted, we're gonna have to have a chat about this. All right.
I can talk for hours about Tokyo Godfathers. It is one of my favorite films, and mostly because it is one of those things that it's a movie that treats every person like a real person, but doesn't hide the difficulties each person goes through. So like, yes, content warning, there is misgendering, and Hana is not treated as well as she should be as a trans woman. But that's kind of the point, is she is a trans woman in Japan and she's homeless. So, there's that kind of level of, it always treats her, it kind of treats her as a little bit of a joke, but she's also like a very theatrical person. She's very out there and big and lavish, but she's very kind-hearted. She's a sweetie, and And there's very sweet sentiments where the teenage runaway even views her as her new mother, which I think is a very important statement to make in the content of the film, is that
I understand that.
Even through all of the suffering that Hana has had to go through, she is still seen as the way she wants to be presented, which I think is very important, since
good message.
And I don't get that in a lot of adult drama live action content.
Yeah, isn't it crazy? It takes a cartoon to teach people a lesson. So everybody tune in.
No, it's great, and it goes everywhere. So like, there's Yakuza, there's a lottery, there's like, honestly, there's so much packed in this tiny film that I just I'm in love.
Okay. Don't you worry. I'm gonna watch these, and I think I'm gonna invite you back. Okay. Remember that time we were talking about this?
Oh, perfect.
Don't you worry. I'll have you back. All right. So, how about finding a tribe as you were growing up? In the way that you grew up, was it easy to find and connect with people that enjoyed the same things you did?
I mean, as a young kid, no.
As a young kid, yeah.
Nah. I was kind of like, I made friends, and then when I wasn't needed anymore to make numbers, I was kind of discarded. So I ended up doing a lot of stuff by myself anyways. And then it wasn't until high school that, the manga boom hit. And then I would find other people who were reading manga in class. And then we started trading manga. And then, of course, everyone started buying DVDs. And we could rent it from the library and stuff like that. But honestly, they didn't have a large selection. So every time somebody would go to a convention or go to Toronto and go to the really niche stores, we would just start trading content with each other.
I love it.
It was like a miniature high school library that was just internally the black market of manga trading.
Oh, I love it. And that's how we did the anime films too. Because one of us would go to the con, and them tapes would be like, $15, $20 a pop. So one of us will buy, and then somebody will buy a blank. It's like, oh yeah, put this on long play, and I'll give you $10. I'm like, all right, that's already half my money back, no doubt.
Yeah. No,
we bootlegging the crap out of and those were bootlegs of manga we were getting within the States anyway.
I had no access to bootlegs actually, because I didn't have internet for a long time. No,
mine wasn't even through internet. I'm talking, chugging with videotapes.
No,
VCR. Look, I still have a VCR hiding behind this. That's why I hide it. Forehead VCR right there. She still works.
I went to a high school of 300 people. So there wasn't a lot of people there, and even less people like that kind of
300
stuff.
people? Really? That's it? That's small.
Yeah. That for all 4 years. And the only time it got bigger than that was when we had exchange students come in. Okay. So it was very small. So being niche was very much being niche, to the point where you didn't find anybody, especially as an adult, who could even get you bootleg copies. The only way to do that was to go to Anime North.
Gotcha.
And then people would give you orders. They'd be like, okay, so I have $100. If you see this there, can you grab it for me? And then I would just come home with bags of stuff.
Literally looking like Santa Claus and shit. All right, everybody, come on over now.
And only half of it is mine. So I mean,
I love it. I love it. All right, so let's start getting into the amazing project that's out right now on Zoop.
Yeah.
I mean, So all right, before we even get into the amazing project, why Zoop, man? I've already had a few creators convince me that Zoop is awesome. But what made you decide to go to this platform as well?
So Kickstarter, I have been doing Kickstarters for the past 3 books. And I really do appreciate Kickstarter as a platform because it has kicked off a large number of indie comics creators.
Of course.
But unfortunately, a recent decision made me very concerned about how they were considering their infrastructure, and without a white paper to tell me what the benefits to me as a creator were, it just told me that they were making a drastic infrastructure change that didn't have a plan.
Without input and respecting the creators that use the platform.
Yeah, exactly. It just happened, and it happened like when everybody in Kickstarter went off on vacation. The union, Kickstarter's union, didn't know about it. So like it was.
How could they sneak that under a union? That's sneaky.
Well, the union statement was just, oh, well, we heard it about when you guys did. So obviously only upper management.
Well, we hope that that's the truth, but wow, that's crazy.
But yeah, so it just gave me very bad vibes. And I decided that, I had heard about Zoop before. I knew that they were comic focused. They also wanted to curate, very big on curating who was able to join the platform and not. But also because they also did other things like they, for some people they'll do fulfillment, or they'll get you, I think, in contact with printers or that kind of thing. So
awesome.
I've already gotten my books printed before, and being in Canada, I have very specific connections that don't charge me massive custom fees.
Hey, love it. Check you out. What? She got her own interwebs going on over there.
So I still want to work with my current printer, which is Rapido in Montreal.
Shout out. Yeah. Awesome.
They're great. They do amazing quality work. And that's what I want to pay for.
They did those books that you just showed me, I mean, hell yeah. Sexy books right
they
there.
have like their colors are gorgeous.
Oh man, look at that. Yo. Woo! Look at this book. Jeez.
So I was very impressed with their level of quality.
Wow. Was great.
I had to go with them. And obviously Rachel Ho's illustration is just gorgeous to sell those covers.
Yeah.
Because that was the part I didn't do.
I want to know about this too here. Look at this. What?
Yeah.
Nominee, Sequential Magazine Awards 2020 favorite writer. And you told me this is book 2. You achieved that goal. That's awesome.
Yeah,
thank you. What an achievement. I love it. How did you feel, even, as a young buck creator, stepping into the game, and then this happens?
Honestly, it was, you just kind of throw your name in a lot of hats and see what happens. And it was cool to have that.
And what happened to the purple hair? I'm digging it. ¿Qué pasó? Are we going to get that color back or what?
I want to, but unfortunately with COVID, it's a little hard to get back to my
gotcha.
my hair designer, and I trust her as the only person with my hair because she has such a fun time with it. So usually it's purple or pink. I think I went with silver last time, but I'll need to get the blonde back.
See, I got silver naturally now. Yeah. And talk about this. Yo, look at this. Yo, this image in itself was amazing. Can you tell me who these gorgeous cast of characters are right here? They look so dope.
Okay. So now, of course, it's called 12 of Magic and Muses, and that's because there's more than one series, which I am currently working on. But 12 is implicating that there's 12 characters, 12 signs of the zodiac, 12 months a year, that kind of thing. So
getting deep there. More interwebs.
So they each have an animal from the Chinese zodiac, with the head at the top, pink, being Willow. She's a bespectacled nerd that doesn't really know what she's doing. Probably has some ADHD, and is just trying to get through high school without completely failing. And in that process, she ends up trying to protect her friend Emma, who is the blue in the left-hand corner with the spear, from the bully in green, with the kunai, I think it is.
I see. Yeah.
With the big red hair. So there's the bully, the best friend, and Willow. And so I had this trifecta of characters, and they each start to not socially distance. And in that process, start infecting more members with magical girl powers.
Ah,
So
okay.
Eventually Willow and Georgia accidentally unlock Emma's older sister Tilly, who is the tiger in that nice light blue color.
Yeah.
And then, it just slowly escalates. We have, going in a clockwise pattern, we have Willow, the main character. We have Bebe, who is the track star. We have Tilly, who is the perfect school president. Alice, who is a member of the track group and Bebe's best friend. We have Georgia, who is the school bully. We have Eve, who is a conspiracy theorist. Also, we have Erin, who is she's the smarty pants of the group, but she's almost Vulcan with her
Gotcha.
level of approaching things. And then we have Sarah, who is Tilly's best friend. We have Emma, who is, of course, Willow's best friend and the victim of Georgia. We have Phoebe, who is part of Georgia's little gang, but she's kind of the knucklehead of the group, so everyone just picks on her. And then we have Nana, who is Eve's best friend, and she's just a bowl of sunshine to try and counteract Eve's intense conspiracy theorists. And lastly, we have Jody, who is one of the core members of George's gang, and they do the most work for the janitor of the school, who they all call Boss.
I love that. As you mentioned janitor today, I saw an awesome little post on Instagram talking about I was taught to respect the janitor as much as I respect the CEO. And look at that. I was like, yo, that's right.
Yeah.
Over here is the boss right now.
I mean, I work in IT, so like IT is one of those jobs where no one cares about what you're doing until nothing works. And I find janitors are the same way. Nobody cares about the janitor until something breaks.
Right? Until something breaks. Hey, the toilet, yo, what the janitor at? Damn. I was like, yo,
yeah, it's a very thankless job.
Very thankless until you need it, like you said.
The janitor was always the person that kind of knew everything that was happening in the school, more so than the teachers did. Like, they would know students by name, and they would know which gangs were doing what and which cliques were doing what, because they were always the people that had to clean up after them. So like when I was growing up, it was always like, oh, the janitor, like I didn't have a specific relationship with them, but like just how they would interact with certain members of the school was really interesting to perceive. And I wanted to show that because unlike, the janitor is not necessarily a member of authority. But especially in the book, she is somebody who's able to kind of tiptoe the line between the outside of the school and the inside of the school. So, she's able to like get contraband in and out, cigarettes being the one that I have in the school, and like she'll tell them to do little things for her. Like in one scene, Georgia swipes alcohol, but she doesn't know what it is. But all she knows is that the janitor wants it, so she does it because she's supposed to. And then like because they're troublemakers, they always get in trouble, and they, there's a chit-based system in the school, so like all you have to do is have good behavior, and you get chits that let you have, opportunities in the school, cool things you can put in your dorm, like plants or games and stuff like that. So if you don't have good chits, or any chits, then you can't, you're just kind of stuck doing
if
nothing.
You don't got chits, you're in the shits.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Exactly.
And so let me ask you, because I saw just from that, first that page that I showed earlier, a lot of different skin tones. I mean, were you around a lot of diversity, and it was that something purposeful that you wanted to put into the book?
So I actually came from a very, very white town. And, we did have a few members who weren't white, who were people of color, but it was really hard for them because they were very, they were very rare. So like everyone knew when the Black family moved in town.
That's horrible.
And like, yeah, no, I don't know how else to describe it.
I know, I
like,
understand though, but I get that. It's even the same when I moved here. Here comes another Puerto Rican family. It's like, okay, I was getting looks even where I'm at. When I moved to Massachusetts, same thing.
Yeah, and it's
I
just,
understand that, and it sucks.
Yeah, no, and like there was obviously some stuff that didn't happen to some of the kids there that were good at all. But yeah, so originally I had drawn them all as white characters, and it wasn't until like I really started to like move forward that I was like, actually, this doesn't, this is boring. I'm not developing myself as an artist by just drawing white people, especially since I started off drawing anime. So it was just like, oh, okay, well, let's diversify things a bit, learn how to draw people who aren't you. And honestly, that once I started doing that, it became much easier for me to draw diverse people. And not just like skin tones, but like I wanted each girl to look specifically the way they do. So like Willow's got a giant fucking nose and big ears, and she looks like a geek. Nana is fat, and so is her best friend. Like they're allowed to have weight on them, which I feel is very important. I'm not going to deny that watching an episode of Sailor Moon where she says she's fat and she looks like a beanpole made me very confused as a small child.
And that sucks, that type of body shaming. Yeah, man, that's horrible. As a dude, I don't know, I didn't pay attention. Like I was like, I don't care if they're big, I know what I'm at. It didn't bother me, but I know for a lot of people that it does send the wrong messaging. And it's true what you said. I listen, I'm a girl daddy. and my daughter is like this, talking about I'm fat. Are you nuts? Like, you stop listening to media, their definition of what body is. You are perfect as you are.
Yeah, and that's why I wanted to show that, because I don't see, especially in television, you don't see very tall women, you don't see very fat women, you don't see, I mean, honestly, it's only till recently we started seeing more people of color on screen.
It is, of course, because people, again, you have to scream loudly in order to like, yo, what's going on? And all of, oh, okay, I'm sorry. And, and this is why, coming from my side, just saying that when they do that, now all of a sudden I feel like you're forced to do it. I know it's either you win or you lose. You're never gonna win,
Yeah.
Because now I feel like you're doing it forced because the repetition is still not right. You're like trying to just throw it in there. Here's some seasoning. No. I don't want seasoning. I want some robust flavor.
Yeah, which is why I ended up making pretty much almost the entire cast different.
And I like that. Thank you for taking that approach.
Yeah, you can pretty much tell which character is what just by their silhouette. I've got these little standees where you can actually see,
show me again. Oh my god, yeah. Oh my god. Yeah, look at that.
So like you can tell the difference between two characters really quickly.
Yes.
Which is what I wanted, because once I started to know which character looked like what, it was really easy to tell who was always in a scene, between like different body types, different facial shapes, like, everyone knows who everyone is immediately, which is good because like that's high school.
Oh my god, you see, folks, and like Transformers, boom, boom.
Yeah,
boom,
so
and it transform. Hey,
I'm trying to work with my webcam here, and it's I'm awkward. So I just felt like growing up, I didn't see a lot of girls that looked like me, who have defined features. Who like I always knew who my friends were because none of them looked like Barbie dolls. And so
who are you talking to? I never saw myself in a cartoon. I'll tell you that much. I mean, not for nothing. I don't know if you saw the film Encanto recently.
No, I haven't seen it yet.
Let me tell you, that here I am, my 46-year-old ass is watching this, and I found myself staring and found myself at this one at a moment where I had a lump in my throat. And I'm just quiet watching this, and like my eyes are getting red. I'm like not trying to, cry. And my wife, what's wrong with you? I said, fuck. It made me feel. I said, babe, this is making me feel. I never saw our kind like this, like a whole movie. And it made me feel very different and special, though. Mega will admit, goddamn, that shit put a fucking lump in his throat, and I shed a tear because I was just like overwhelmed. Yeah. So it is important, people. It is.
No, representation is always important because
But I didn't really realize how important it is until that very moment, because I was like, I don't give a fuck, bro. I just enjoy it. I'm not trying to judge. We're all human. But then just seeing that, though, I was like, holy shit, these humans look a lot like me.
And I mean, like, as a white woman, I'm probably the closest to being more represented than anyone else, next to white men.
But again, that's not your fault that you were born into this shit. It's just the way the world turned into, and that, another thing, because I also hate when people think that every white person has privilege. Yeah. Growing up in Brooklyn, I grew up with so many poor white boys that were just having problems, and they were getting arrested and bagged just like us. So not every white person has privilege. Yes, some of them do, but not every.
For sure, there's different levels of privilege, and it's not just a single thing. It is a very complex thing to tackle. Like I don't have male privilege.
We're human beings. Yeah, I get that exactly. And again, and that's a fucked up thing too. I see differences, and like just oh my gosh, here's something funny. You're gonna Kristen, you're gonna love this. So they told me, like, if I'm ever gonna sell an art piece, that I should never go to a dealer, that I should send my white friend. This is the advice I got.
Yeah.
I'm like, why? It's before. Like, because you're gonna get lowballed, and your white homeboy or homegirl will not. I'm like, really? He goes, go ahead, test the theory. I hope it's not an expensive though you want to test it with. I'm like, damn.
Like, no. I've even been told sometimes that if I'm having difficulties getting somewhere online, to call myself Chris instead of Kristen when I respond in an email, because people are more likely to respond better to me.
Okay, all right.
So
my wife has a very Latino name, right?
Yeah.
And but she's American. She's born here. She's brilliant. But because of her Latino name, most people just don't ignore her. So I said, babe, do a test one day. Yeah. And just try Lisa. Just one day, just to see what happens. She got responses? I was like, wow, that's crazy.
Like, as much as... It's such a weird space to be in, because like it's like you found a hack, but it's a hack that you shouldn't have to use. And
because you're talented regardless of gender, race, color, and again, but the world is slowly starting to understand. Not the world, but at least this country, because other countries understand that value.
Yeah. Well, it's one of those things where if this was easy, it would have been done a long time ago, and unfortunately, humans are
and this
complex.
Is why you, as a woman, I mean, look at it. As a woman, you have tackled every single role in the creation of this book. I mean, wow. So many dudes can't even do half of what you're doing. So a big shout out to you on there.
Thank you.
I want to know about this. So this is the whole squad. How can I get this set? Because this is like, I really love this. I have not seen any creator do some awesome swag like this.
So this will be available on the Zoop campaign. If you purchase one of the books, this will be added as an add-on, or you can get a single one by itself.
Oh, really? So I could buy them?
Yeah, no, you can totally buy them. You can buy them as a singular or as a set. I also usually have what I call the ultimate bundle, which is where you get all the books, all the keychains, all the acrylic standees, everything all at once.
Damn. I need to get a bigger house so I could use all those keychains.
Yeah. So, it's there's a lot of swag that I've made.
I'm digging it. I mean, because again, we're talking about that. Look at these. So, what does this represent? This like the mask that they wear or something?
Yeah. So they each kind of get like a little masquerade mask, or a superhero mask, whichever one you prefer to call them. But they also have these familiars, which are also based on different animals. Okay. So you have Willow, which is the rat. You have Georgia, which is the Komodo dragon. Emma, which is a mandrill, Tilly the tiger, Aaron is the horse, and Nana is the jackal. And then the other 6 also have their own characters.
And why choose the Chinese zodiac?
So there's actual multiple zodiacs.
Okay.
In this that I use.
So you blend them.
Yeah.
I love that. Okay, wait. Are you that big into zodiac? I mean, talk to me.
Yeah, of course I am.
What is my sign for tomorrow? What are my lucky numbers? I'll give you half if I win. I promise.
But yeah, so growing up, I was big into birthstones and birth flowers and birth trees. And
how'd you get into that?
I'm not entirely sure. I think I was just really fascinated by the fact that there was like designations for each month and in terms of the Chinese zodiac each year. So I was just kind of like making all of these connections. I'm like, there's a whole thing here. Why has nobody done anything with this? I'm going to make whole characters around them. Exactly. And then I'm sitting here waiting for someone else to make that idea and then realizing no one else is going to make it. So I guess I have to.
So Kristen said, everybody step aside. I got it. Get out of here. You don't want it. I'll take it.
Yeah, exactly. So I stepped up to the plate and I did what I wanted.
Wow.
Willow's the garnet, Emma's a sapphire, George's an emerald. They all have like their each little things. They also have a specific summoning tool that, they all have different powers, but one of them has a specific summoning tool based on her muse as well. So I also gave them a muse, and because there's only 9 muses, I also added the I'm trying to remember what they're called and I'm drawing a blank, but it's basically the Greek symbols of victory. So there's Nike, there's Zealous, and something else, which I can't remember her name.
You gotta forgive me because I ain't gonna know nothing like that right now.
No, it is Greek deep lore. So
very deep apparently. I mean, listen. I had the coolest mythology teacher. I studied mythology in junior high school. I had a whole class every week on mythology, and my man would act it out. And I'm sure he said this. I just don't remember. He was a great teacher. He was just extremely loud. He would act it out like he was Stan Lee, for real. Yeah, there you go, Stu. Shout out here. Those dope amiibo-like figures.
Oh, man. If I ever got amiibo figures, I would lose my mind.
They're coming. Stu just helped speak those onto the world. And you said it. They're coming. Don't you worry. And which would be all right, if you had that opportunity, what character would you do first?
Oh, always Willow. Sorry, Willow. Willow's my self-insert. I gotta.
He wants to know where can he get them, Stu. All you gotta do is support the project right here in Zoo. We were just talking about it. You could get the whole set. You get them individually, but the most important thing you gotta get here is the 3 books. Those things are fatties too. That'll keep you reading. For like at least a week.
So, yeah, I mean, if you're unsure if you'd like the story, you can also read it for free.
You could read it for free. Hey, yeah. Where can we read it for free?
It's actually based on, it's actually a webcomic first.
Wait, how did you get into webcomics?
Well, I watched a lot of comics or read a lot of comics on DeviantArt and just kind of got into VG Cats and, Lackadaisy and The Meek and like all of these really fantastical webcomics.
Look at that. You already got a supporter in the house.
Well, you can sign up because we're actually launching February 7th. So
there you go. So sign up, all right, Stu. But sign up for sign up. You get alerted and get the biggest package, so you get the buttons, the stands, the books, everything, the keychains, all that awesome swag. I mean, she knows what she's doing because I'm like, I keep staring at these. Like I feel like I'm watching Babu Mac on Crisis Toyverse, and he keeps trying to sell me toys. And let me tell you that my wallet has been. You know what? Let me just put my wallet out of my thing because I'm gonna have to hit the credit card in a bit. For real, these are gorgeous. And this is where I'm gonna hit it at. I want to go to zoop.gg/c Magic and Muses, right? And when I go there, I'm gonna sign up. And then when this baby goes live, I'm gonna throw my dollars like I'm going crazy. Because look, you see, Stu says I need all of that. He needs it all.
Well, perfect. Because I need that money so I can get reprints. I'm running out of books.
And Kristen, let me tell you, even one of my Crusaders, when they shared the image of our program today, he said, "Oh my God, like where can I get these? That art looks right up my alley. What is going on in here?" Shout out to Nemesis because this is up his alley. So Nem, you better chip in too and make sure that we fund this awesome independent project of this one woman show. Stu, listen, this is a one woman show. If you didn't tune in earlier, she's done all of this herself, writing, art, everything, yo. Oh man, look at him. He says, "I'm gonna throw all my dollars at it like I'm at a strip club."
Respect
right there. Yo. You see, Kristen, because you're making amazing projects. So I know you kind of alluded to this earlier, but so would the dream project be, I mean, to make this an animated movie or something?
Well, yeah, because my background was animation. And I honestly didn't expect to get into e-learning because it was just not an option when I was in college. So like I was like, I'm going to be an animator. I'm going to go work for some Canadian animation company or try to get into Disney or Nickelodeon or something like that. But I also graduated at like the peak of the recession. So jobs just were not happening.
What's a job? What?
So I ended up getting the job at the college just because I was, had trained for it. And I worked with a lot of flash work. So like Newgrounds style flash work, even though I wasn't on Newgrounds, but, I got hired for that. And then, I had taken 3D and 2D. It took 3D animation, but 2D animation was what I did by myself. So
you're impressing the shit out of me because it's like, I'm going in. If I'm gonna make it, I'm going all in, and I love that. You are fired up.
Yeah. So yeah, and then I got that job, and I needed something to vent all my creativity into because as much as I love my job, it is very corporate. And it is very dry. Like you can only explain how to delegate instructions.
Like watching paint dry. Like, Jesus, just watch the wall. This is what I gotta do. I don't even look at the script no more. Blah 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 blah. I get you. You feel like a drone, a robot. Horrible feeling. And when you get home, you just let loose. It's like the chains are off, like that famous Neil Adams cover with Superman breaking them kryptonite chains, right? Like, get out of here.
Yeah, basically. So I just went ham for.
Wepa! She went ham, son. Hey, didn't mean I say it right here.
So, and then 8 years later, I suddenly had a finished. Originally, it was going to be one book, and then I went to a printer, and they were like, "You're crazy! You can't print this in one book. Are you?
You can't print War and Peace now."
Yeah, exactly. Turns out 1,000 pages doesn't actually work in a paperback because it'll just fall apart. So, Now that I've started dealing with physics,
you are murdering me though. 1,000 pages. I mean, you went like Jack Kirby mode on this MFR. I love it.
Go big or go home.
Amen. Amen. Doing her thing. All right. So, Kristen, I don't want to say too much more of your time, but this project is awesome. And you could read it for free, but you got to get these beautiful copies, those beautiful figures and keychains and all. Follow her on social right there. Most importantly, you got to support the project on Zoop. So sign up for that pre-launch so you get that notification. But before we go ahead.
Not to interrupt you, but we also have a deal for retailers. So if there's any local comic book shops, we will have a special deal on getting a large number of books.
Lucas, I'll be tuned in. Lucas, he's my retail guy on the Comic Crusaders, and he built up a Comic Crusaders retail shop. And and I asked him one day, he's like, "Yo, would you work with indies for the shop?" He goes, "Hell yeah!" So Lucas, I recommend this one because I think people are gonna really dig it a lot.
Yeah. And honestly, if you've got girls and you want to get them into comics, I highly recommend it. I've had a lot of parents say that they really appreciate it because they get their kids into books.
Yeah, man, getting them off the screens for a minute and actually pick up something in printed material and read it in the living room like a normal person, right?
Yeah.
Don't we want this for kids? I have a 21-year-old now. She ain't a baby no more. But she's in the design space and trying to get acclimated. And I'm teaching her, baby, don't have those goals of working for Disney and all. How about you be the next Disney? You be the next Netflix. That's what I'm trying to tell her. You know what I mean? But tell us here, this journey you've had. Any advice for up and coming creators? Especially on your level, the one woman bands, because as like Stu says, this project is amazing for a woman. So really, he's floored. It's not about one woman show; it's just a one person show. Let's talk about that because that takes skill, but this woman is definitely killing it. I love it.
Well, I guess the one advice that I would have is, no one knows what they're doing. We all like to pretend we do, but we don't. And fear is probably your biggest hurdle when it comes to this kind of stuff. And I know I am coming from a place of privilege. But honestly, make the thing. Just do it. And it's a marathon. Go as slow as you need to. Even the fastest runners in a marathon need to take breaks and walk. If that's what you have to do, that's what you have to do. There are some days where, I only do a panel in a day and I get exhausted and I put it away. And then there's some days where I can whip out an entire chapter. So give yourself some credit, take your time, make mistakes, and do it. Just do it. Especially now with comics being as accessible as they are, you have multiple avenues for platforms. You can share it online if you want to. I actually waited 3 years before I even started posting my comic online so I could, really evaluate what I was doing. Wow. And now I'm so far ahead that the second series is already almost entirely penciled out. And the third series has already finished its first draft. So, I mean,
you're not playing.
Go at your own pace. Don't care what anybody else goes. I like webcomics specifically. Everyone's like, oh, you need to update twice a week or something like that. But honestly, I started off posting one page every other week. And that was, it just takes a while to catch up sometimes. So do the thing.
Do the thing. You hear it, folks. Do the thing. Don't doubt yourself. Get her done. But pace yourself. You got this. You know what I mean? Don't let those slow days outpace those creative days. You got this. And I love it. I love the project. So let me tell you. So check out her website. Please check out her website. Follow her on social. Let her know Mega sent you. That you're going to follow her and support the amazing creativeness that this lady has right here. But of course, most importantly, sign up for this pre-launch right now. And throw that wallet, do like Stu where he wants to throw his dollars, in those places. But throw them at this amazing project by an amazing creator that one woman show, folks. This is amazing, yo. God bless, yo. I mean, and even David says, sorry he's late to the party. He's the person I said, but he looks forward to checking it out.
No worries.
Because he's the one that said, like, yo, Al, what is this? This is like right up my alley. he almost going on that Ricky Ricardo, explain, Al, explain. So with that, Kristen, thank you so much for joining me today, hanging out, taking time out of your day. I know.
Thank you so much for having me. I had a blast.
No, you're awesome, yo, and you inspiring. My hats off to you. My flowers to you. Thank you for sharing your creativity, being brave and bold, and doing what you do. Like, taking charge the way you did, and making sure that you share your passion and your love for what you do. So much love, yo. Thank you. I appreciate it. I know I'm gonna love the crap out of this, like everybody else will. So you better again support it right there, folks, on Zoop. You don't need Kickstarter, yeah, like you said, much love, but Zoop is where it's at, where you can support amazing creators like her. So go to Zoop right now and check out, not just her project, but everybody else's projects that's on that platform. It really is amazing.
Yeah, there's some great other comics coming down the pipe. Not just mine. And there's some heavy hitting creators that are starting to get on that platform as well. So
because they understand the value of what they're bringing, and they're not going to do a Kickstarter and not alert you to things. Or at least we hope. So Zoop, you better take care of these people because they're going to take care of you. So with that, thank you, Kristen, again, yo. I appreciate it. I'm gonna watch Tokyo Godfathers, and
yes, please do.
Once I get hooked up to everything Satoshi Kon, I'm going to have you back, because then we're going to have some discussion, to explain to my wife why I had to buy all these DVDs and Blu-rays and all this stuff. Right? It's your fault. All right. Now I'm only playing, but no, I appreciate you. Thank you for the knowledge and the everything you're doing. Again, I can't wait to chip in. I'm going to get on that pull list because I need this in my life too. And I really want those stands, or those are fire. They're gonna look sexy when I move from here and get to have my own room. Hey, anyway, yeah. So with that, I'm out mega with the amazing Kristen Kiomall-Evans. Make sure to check out that project. Hasta la próxima, mi gente. Much love. Thank you for listening to the Comic Crusaders podcast. If you like the content, please subscribe and turn on notifications. Also, please visit comiccrusaders.shop and our extended podcast family over at undercovercapes.com. And also, make sure to download the Comic Crusaders app on the Google Play Store today.